Hello, AP Physics 1, it's Mr. Ng, and I'm here to, some of you had questions on our homework set, namely number 39, so let me do that real quick in this quick video. So number 39 looks almost exactly the same as those other kinematics equations that we looked at, with a few differences. There's some signs issues, but I think the biggest departure is the fact that you have to use the quadratic formula. Like you can't factor, and the formula that we use, you have to do quadratic. So let me show you. I think we could do the simple stuff, the easy stuff, right? The stuff that you're used to, which is V, V, A, T, X. So the initial V final. A helicopter is ascending vertically with a speed of 5.2 meters per second. That's our initial velocity. It's moving up at 5.2 meters per second, and it's up, so let's make it positive, at a height of 125 meters above the Earth. That's definitely going to be an X, 125 meters. A package is dropped from the window. How much time does it take for the package to reach the ground? So we don't know the V final. It's going to be fast. We know that this is going to be negative 9.8 meters per second squared. And time is going to be our big old question mark. One little note, the displacement needs to be negative, right? We're going from the top and it's going down in the same direction as the acceleration. So if it's going in the same direction as acceleration in this system is negative, so let's also make it negative. Done. Okay, so now all we got to do is fill in. No, not fill in. Let's not fill in yet. We got to choose our equation. And the equation is the classic equation, the one that we've always used. X is equal to V naught t plus 1/2 AT squared. How many times have we used this, right? This is the equation that we use for reaction time. This is the equation that we use when we drop those binder clips, okay? Unfortunately, I know we want to rearrange the equation, but the t is in both of these little doodads here, so we need to use quadratic, so we should just plug in now. There's no other way. So let's plug in. Well, let's at least set it to 0 so we use quadratic, right? So 0 is equal to 1/2 AT squared plus V naught t minus x, right? Let's fill in. 0 is equal to 1/2 times 9.8 t squared. Because I'm doing quadratic and it's going to be a mess, I'm not going to do the units just because it's just going to be a mess. All right? Plus the acceleration is 5.2 t minus negative 125. Let's reduce it a little. That means 0 is equal to 4.9 t squared plus 5.2 t plus 125. Let's memorize this, and we'll plug it into the old quadratic formula. If you're not so used to quadratic formula, consider this a little extra lesson. Okay, let's just erase all of this and start with the equation that I boxed. Okay, let's rewrite this 4.9 bit. So 0 is equal to 4.9 t squared plus 5.2 t plus 125. Fine. This is A, this is B, this is C. So we know that t is equal to negative b 5.2. If you don't know what I'm doing, I'm filling in with the quadratic, okay, for those of us who aren't in that math yet. 5.2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 5.2 squared, minus 4ac. 4 times a is 4.9 times c is 125 divided by 2a. 2 times 4.9. Okay? If you plug it in, you should get around 5.6. Let me walk you through it just a little bit in case the math is a little bit goofy. So this means this is equal to 5.2 plus or minus. If I reduce all of this stuff in the middle, This becomes some big old number minus this old number. Oh wait, this is a negative, right? Negative 4.9, right? Negative 4.9. So this becomes positive. Be careful there. Signs matter here. So I get plus or minus the square root of 2477.04 divided by, oh, don't forget this negative. I was going to mess this up. I totally forgot about that negative. All right? That means this had a negative here. Don't forget that. Gravity's going down. Minus 9.8. So right, 2 times 4.9 will go back to 9.8. If you do a whole bunch of reduction, this becomes negative 5.2 minus 49.77 or 5.2 plus 49.77 divided by negative 9.8 divided by negative 9.8. Okay, so what I did here was I found the square root of this huge number. It became 49.77. Then I divided this up. See this plus and minus? One side for the minus, one side for the plus. And I put the minus here because in my head, this is going to turn out to be positive, and this is going to turn out to be negative, right? A positive on top, a negative on the bottom. I know that this can't be the answer because there's no such thing as negative time. Get out of here. So let's reduce that. Negative 5.2 minus 49.77 parentheses divided by negative 9.8. If you punch in that math, what I got was 5.61 seconds. So, big old trick for number 39. Number one, know your signs. I think a lot of you might have set distance as positive. It's going down, going at the same direction as acceleration, so it should also be negative. And maybe some of us just didn't remember quadratic formula very well. I'll leave it like this so that you can look at it. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have been working really hard, so I'm very grateful.